YNW Melly hopes that a new lawsuit filed on his behalf gets him out of prison. The lawsuit accuses the Broward Sheriff's Office of cruel treatment and violating his constitutional rights. The rapper, whose real name is Jamel Demons, is accused of murdering two of his childhood friends back in 2018. Now, he hasn't been able to see or speak to any of his family members for the last 3 years, according to the lawsuit.
I can get the shorter cord. It's right there. You can get the longer cord. Yeah, he been chasing like this. I'm good right here. Look, he been be chasing like that. That's not the music cord. The music cord is right here.
Rappers reacted to Melly's lawsuit being used as leverage by his lawyers to try to get him out on a plea agreement. Melly is seeking immediate release from prison and is suing the Broward Sheriff's Office for cruel treatment. In response to Melly's claims that they haven't let him see or speak to any family members in 3 years, rappers have said things like, "I like what I'm hearing right now. Melanie, man, let's give that kid some credit. Give him freedom. He has been there far too long." Here's because Melly's lawyers claimed in his case that he has been kept in a cold prison cell without access to food or human contact. It was additionally distributed. An interview from Melly's mother paints a disturbing picture of Melly's life in jail, making it sound like he won't last much longer. In an interview, she laments that despite experiencing terrible treatment while incarcerated, Melly was handed a mistrial in his initial trial. He can't even check his mail or make a phone call. She says,
"My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him."
She would acknowledge that she is upset about her son's treatment while incarcerated and that she is heartbroken for him.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
The Melly case has received a lot of public attention as a result of Charleston White's response that Melly should live that way. He should not be treated any differently simply because he is a well-known rapper.
The YNW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing about being mistreated when you done chose to play somebody.
Boosie responded to the situation by showing compassion for his mother's situation, even though some would contend that Melly's treatment is harsher than that of his usual cellmate.
Okay, so
then I met his mama while he was in.
Oh, okay.
I met his mom while he was in, and she real, bro. You know, she real.
She's stressed out. I heard she had a.
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good woman, bro. And when I see them mamas like that, it remind me of what my mom was going through, bro.
In spite of this, Melly's protest was handled worse by the federal government. Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah suddenly returned to the U.S. after spending the previous 3 years overseas. After detaining Melly right away at the airport, the feds will use Mariah to accuse Melly of witness tampering.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demons' first trial in 2023.
The judge promised Mariah that she would testify in Melly's following trial before freeing her. She thanked her village on Facebook after being set free. "I love you all. It's not God's plan, it's mine." Mariah seemed to be saying that she would give a statement. She doesn't want to do it, but she has to do it legally. She is important because the federal government claims to have phone records that demonstrate Melly bullied her into not testifying. In order to prevent her from implicating Melly in court, they claim Melly coerced her into leaving the country. This claim of witness tampering involves a life sentence, regardless of whether Melly actually fired Chaser and Juvie.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demmons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
Due to the allegation of witness tampering, Melly is largely barred from communicating in any way while she is in prison. Even YNW Juvie's father said that he was aware of Melly's manipulation and explained how he did it using code words.
There was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
Like to me, they going through extreme measures, try to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom. And
to exacerbate Melly's situation, the authorities used further evidence to stop him from obtaining a bomb in addition to proof of Melly's admitting to the crime.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly count says what?
After that, SHHHH.
They even released a video showing Melly dancing in a parking lot in Portland 5 hours after the crime, in which Melly seems happy.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! The dog still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Because he showed no sadness for his 2 closest friends. But since he was caught leaving the studio just minutes before the crime, he was filmed again without Melly's knowledge. As you can see, it's Melly who walks in the rear left seat of the Jeep. The court documents, which demonstrate that the rounds went from left to right in the car, provide credence to the claim that Melly was in the back left seat when the shots were fired. Even Juvie's mother confirmed Melly's whereabouts.
Can you state your name? Your full legal name for the jury?
I'm Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the kids in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right-hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
However, Melly's lawyer disclosed that the prosecution admitted that no handgun had ever been found.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what was used.
Okay.
But in retaliation, the feds revealed the evidence they had found in Bortland's home.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortland was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortland, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Demmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortland allegedly tampered with a witness.
Bryson. The news was announced by Paul. These images show the notes that were discovered while Bortland's home was being searched. They display illustrations created by Bortland that depict the jurors' appearance and seating arrangements. It seems that Bortland intended to cause harm to the jury.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortland, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
However, Portland can confirm all the material they want to use against Melly because the prosecutors still want to know why Fredo Bang was called to pick her up on this specific night, which raises problems.
And Chris Thomas are. So what you're also going to find out is while Mr. Devins is out there on the side of the road, 4 in the morning, 4:42 specifically, he sends a drop pin, digital homing beacon to his current location, to one of his friends, Frederick Givens. Frederick Givens is also involved in the music industry, and he asked to be picked up. Frederick Givens, then about 11 minutes later, is sent another drop pin where Mr. Devins has moved a couple of meters. What you're going to find out as well, though, is these digital leashes, they have more than just phone calls.
Melly also appears in a Facebook post with Young Thug, which they are trying to connect to the crime. They're trying to say that Melly is on the Red Street squad since she went out with Young Thug, who is on the Red team.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, the snake. He's saying he's YSL, and he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Devins has the big B hand signs posted, displayed.
Right, and see individuals again, I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and test.
According to the reports, Melly didn't care that her lawyers sought to stop this from being submitted. During this hearing, Melly publicly disobeyed his legal team's counsel in front of the court for the first time, and he became enraged with them.
Yes, sir. Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
Melly declared in front of the court, "I don't care. I haven't joined any teams." They're unable to demonstrate that.
I'm aware that 924-071 call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the definitely aggravator, that's the gang enhancement itself, Your Honor. That's charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the president of the gang, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
Something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
They do. However, want to provide more proof that a former Oblique member disclosed a secret that Melly had previously told King Van. Melly and Van used to be friends, and King Von told Oblique members that Melly had come to him for guidance on how to deal with people.
Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vaughn was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walk the bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around?
In Bortland's plea deal, however, is the most concerning feature. According to reports, Bortland accepted the plea deal. He is also speaking because he took a proposal. Because the punishment is to accessory after the fact, he will serve a reduced sentence of 10 years plus 6 years on probation. The civil complaint has already sought his deposition. The judge said that he had to provide a factual basis for both counts before he could accept the plea. According to scholars who dissected the precise meaning of this, he must give a truthful explanation of how he assisted in the crime, demonstrating that it really happened. When he is pleading with the prophet, he cannot answer yes, ma'am. He shared Franklin's ability to sing.
I did tweet out saying people are upset. I said this is a gunner plea. This is a gunner plea. This isn't a plea saying you have to tell on him, but this is a plea that you're going to have to provide all the details that they were missing to convict him. And that's why it's a gunner plea. Why do I say he signed a gunner plea? Because YNW Melly, and I watched the case, we covered it. YNW Melly's case is that, number one, you guys have not done a job to prove that this is actually they have proved, but prove that this is a homicide with this person being the offender. Also, the accessory after the fact plea confirms that Portland, that's kind of like almost like a sub part of a conspiracy, except you weren't with the conspiracy at first. You came in after the fact. What that proved is that they came in. What that proved is that Portland worked with someone after he acknowledged that a took place in trying to cover it up. You hear what I just said? When pleading to an accessory to after the fact, you have to acknowledge that it happened and you assisted someone or in some way to cover it. Now, if Melly's statement is, how do we know that? And then secondly, how do we know who did it? Because they said it was a drive-by.
Whether or not Portland mentions Melly's name when he tells the federal authorities that Sakasser and Juvie died from a condition inside the car, Melly will still be held guilty since Portland must explain how the crime happened, which will disclose Melly's involvement. But Portland's outstanding plea agreement astonished the judge. "I'm not sure how your attorneys manage this," replied the lawyer.
And it's my understanding that you want to resolve both cases today. Is that correct? Yes. And that resolution is an agreement you've reached with the state, the terms of which are as follows. Number one, in the 19 case, you're going to plead no contest to both counts of accessory after the fact. In the 23 case, you're going to plead no contest to all 4 counts as charged. In exchange for that, the state is going to null process, that is, drop the 2 first-degree. In exchange for that, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty on the 2 accessory counts as well as the tampering count. I'm going to sentence you to 10 years in Florida State Prison.
This was one of the best plea deals in history because Portland's potential punishment was lowered from 5 life sentences to just 10 years in prison. This prompted the reporter to hear from another lawyer. Lil Wayne and Kodak Black's attorney, Bradford Cohen, asserts that Portland has accepted the plea deal and will likely flip against Melly.
All right, let's talk YNW Melly and YNW Portland. He is now doing the triple Lindy. For those youngsters that don't know what the triple Lindy is, it is when you do several flips off a high dive, and he will be flipping. He is going to be tell-all about anything he knows about the double case, and they will know if he's telling the truth or telling a lie when he gives his full quote-unquote confession as to what happened that evening. And that's what happens. A lot of times where guys are in the prison for 4 or 5 years awaiting trial and looking at a life sentence, and they're offered 10 years where they'll be home probably in another 3 years that he'll serve. He decides to flip and become a cheese eater. And that's what happens a lot of times on these cases. And I was expecting it to happen a lot sooner than it did. He held out for quite some time. But long story short is it looks like he's going to flip. And it makes the case on YNW Melly, depending on what he says, which I anticipate he'll say that YNW Melly is responsible.
Even 6x9. And responded by saying that Portland had recently reached a plea deal with the prosecution. Melly is hungry. Years ago, I told you about these rap people, but they all singled me out because they were scared of my stature.